Oh my goodness. That was crazy, huh? Welcome everybody. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you guys. Sorry, it was operator error, I confess. Okay, let's see. Chat, let's get you involved. Okay, what we're going to talk about today, guys, thank you so much for waiting. We're going to be talking about avoiding distractions. Avoiding distractions. And we talked about it today in our live stream. And it was wonderful. We went slide by slide. We had people on stage, Candy and Monera on stage. And as we went through them, I think I saw something click. Now, Candy ran out of time. She had to quit for the day. But as we continued on, it kept evolving and developing. And I believe that there was a connection between those in the chat and the information that we were giving, so I wanted to go over that in a recorded way, like here. And of course, we'll take this and leave it full version for those of you who are still asleep in certain parts of the country, and you can come watch it full version later. But we'll also take it and make it into some smaller videos, maybe, or at least edit it a little bit so I can put the slides up on the screen as well as we're discussing them. Eventually, I will get better at this. Hi, Moneta. I will get better at this, and then we will be able to do this live on time. And yeah, it'll be better. It'll be much better. So let's get into the first slide. We're talking about avoiding distractions. Now, if you're an adult learner and you're trying to learn English, and your motivation for learning or developing your English is that you can get a better job, open up opportunities for you and your family, make more money, those kinds of things are very important to you. That makes them very important to me, and these types of things that can help you to avoid distractions can make your study time more efficient, more impactful, more effective, and will cause you to retain the information that you're studying longer. Isn't that the goal? The goal is to not only spend the time or invest the time in studying, but to come away from it with practical um, enhancements that are able to be used in at the moment of conversation, right? How many of you have studied, felt great about studying, only later to have none of that material come up, to have it just vanish, and you're in the middle of having a conversation or attempting to, and crickets, right? And you already feel nervous, you feel awkward, and you can't find the word or the phrase or the expression, and you're like, ah. So it could have been that you've had distractions or you haven't had things in place to enhance your focus, to make your time of study more focused. Another reason why this is an important subject is because many of you after college enter into the work world. So you have a full time job. You're also perhaps in a relationship or you have a small family, and all of these things are vying for your time as well. They're pulling at your time. So when you do have time, uninterrupted time, you've got your family support. We're going to talk about that. And you're in that mode. You want it to be the most productive possible. So that's why we're going to go through this slide by slide. It's going to be a somewhat longer version of this, and then I will try to abbreviate it and make shorts out of it for you guys later. For right now, you're getting the unedited version, actually the live version right now, or you're watching this later. And if that's your preference, it's fine. We'll leave it up there for you to see all the glitches and the should have been the takeaways or the takeouts or the edits, and you can feel like you're with us on the live stream. That might be useful for you as well. So the first slide is avoiding distractions. This is an adult ESL study tips. So you're adult, this is English second language, and you're studying, you're trying to study efficiently and effectively. So, learning how to stay focused and improve your English skill. What do you think? Why do you think it's hard to avoid distractions when studying? Why do you think it's hard to avoid distractions when you're studying? I'm going to give you a moment to think about this. This is full length, real time. So, again, why do you think it's hard to avoid distractions when you're studying? You should ask yourself that and find out what is your weakness. What is the thing that easily distracts you or takes you away from it? Or is it that your form of study is not engaging enough to keep your attention so that it's easier for you to be distracted by things around you? But think about it. What is it? Is it a person? Is it a place? Is it a thing that is pulling you away from your study time or keeping you from focus? And do you have strategies that work for you? A strategy is a plan. A strategy is a mode, an approach to something, right? Um, oh, thank you for the interaction. Linda says, because when you're trying not to do, um, yeah, you have to spell it out for me, Linda. I'm an old man. I don't know these abbreviations. Please spell it out for me. Throw me a bone. No emojis, no code words, no abbreviations. I'd like to buy a vowel. Because when you're trying not to do something, it becomes harder. Thank you for that. When you're trying not to do something, it becomes harder. Yeah, absolutely. So maybe you're not trying to do the studying, and so it becomes harder for you because you don't want to be there. You'd rather be doing something else. Exactly. That's a great point, actually. So, getting yourself in the mindset, conditioning yourself so that your body and your mind and everything is focused is what we're going to go through here. And I'm very grateful for that, by the way, Linda. What we're going to go through here, this is full length. So, I'm going to leave this unedited for those of you who like the experience of being here, but maybe you were asleep in your country at this time. You're going to get the full version of it. Exactly. And do you have any strategies, Linda, that work for you? Do you have an approach that works for you? Or Monetta's here also. Do you have an approach that works for you? And you can share that with me later as we go through this as well. We have about 10 slides, and the edit that I'll perform on this will bring those slides up so you guys can see them. All right, let's go into this next one. So, why staying focused is important? Some of you have a natural ability to stay focused. You're automatically focused, or you've been conditioning yourself to be focused for some time. So, when you get into study mode, you have an intensity in your focus and you get the results. But there's almost always a way to increase the focus. And perhaps the things we're going to be talking about today will make you aware of something you haven't implemented yet, you haven't tried, and that could bring you to the next level of focus. Because let's face it, the more you focus, the stronger your studying is going to be. Think about a light like the sun. And when I was young, I discovered that a magnifying glass with the sun could cause some leaves to smoke. If I took a magnifying glass and I focused the sunlight, I could make some leaves or a stick, a twig smoke. And I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing just by giving it focus. If you focus that light even more intensely, you can make a laser. That laser can cut through steel. So, focus is extremely important in your studying. If you've already had a measure of success, good job, good job. But if you're still trying to work on increasing your focus, or you realize that there's always a chance that you could increase your focus, then stay tuned. We're going to get into that. Staying focused is important because it gives you a better understanding of English. It gives you faster progress and more confidence. It gives you a better understanding of English, faster progress, and more confidence. I'm growing through an immune system upgrade. So, how do you feel when you're able to focus well? How do you feel when you're able to focus well? At any time, you can give us input in the chat. If you're here, it's fine. What does it feel like when you're able to be focused? Well, normally when you're focused, you're able to realize that you are in fact absorbing the things that you're intending to. It's making sense. It's clicking with you. You're getting it. You feel like you're redeeming your time in a good way. And this is why we want you to a higher level of focus. And you have to think about your personal challenges. If we were talking live, if we eventually get people on stage to be able to talk live, I would ask you these things directly, but instead, I'm going to ask them to you, and you have to take a moment of pause and think about it personally. What is your biggest distraction personally? Linda has some comments here. She says, I count every time that I get distracted since I don't want a huge number of distractions. It makes me be more focused. So she keeps tabs on how often she's distracted. Linda says, and also, I try to be an active learner and ask myself some questions about what I am studying. So it makes me to be more focused. I know it's okay. It's hard to type, especially if I want to ask for vowels. So, just for context, Linda's a medical student. She's in medical school. Of all of the specialties, this is one of those that you can imagine requires intense focus. There's a lot of challenges, there's a lot of distractions, and you need to stay engaged and prepare yourself for a lifetime of staying focused as a doctor, right? So, listening to what she's saying is very important because she's in that environment. So she keeps track of how many times she's distracted. If she swipes or a notification pops up and she goes down that rabbit hole, she might look over at her tab where she might have stick numbers showing how many times she's been distracted. And she'll see she's up to 5 or 6 and go, this is not acceptable. I need to buckle down. So she might turn off her notifications or even put her phone on airplane mode and set it aside and use something like her iPad or her MacBook without notifications so that she can get into that zone. So perhaps count the amount of times you're distracted. Again, staying focused is important to give you a better understanding of English or anything else in life, give you faster progress and more confidence. Yeah, stay tuned. It's good to see you guys. Feel free to type something. I'm reading the chat as we go. So here's tip number one. Tip number one, create a dedicated study place. Create a dedicated study place. Someplace quiet, someplace comfortable, someplace organized. Create a dedicated study place. Remove the clutter because all that clutter on your desk is not going to help you to get into the study zone. Get rid of the clutter. You want the impact of organization. You want your eyes to show your brain that we're going to organize all this information. We're not going to allow that cluttered look to get into cluttered information in your brain. So have an area that's uncluttered and organized and have good lighting. Well, what do we mean by good lighting? So some lighting is too soft. It can lull you into passiveness, right? If it's too low on the Kelvin scale, it might be 2800 light, which is called soft white. And that could lull you to sleep. That's the kind of light you have next to your bed to prepare you for bed. You don't want bright white like 5000 Kelvin or 6500 Kelvin. You want that color in your garage or your kitchen or your bathroom. That's too white, it's too intense, it might give you fatigue. You want something right around 4000 Kelvin, which is the color of, they call it not daylight, they call it bright white in our country. But look on the back of your LED, it will tell you the Kelvin. Right around 4000 Kelvin is a good color of light for studying. So a designated area, an area without clutter, and the reason you want it designated is because you will create a conditioned response. If you have ever heard of Pavlov's dogs, demonstrated a conditioned response with his dogs. And what he did, he would ring a bell every time it was time to feed them. And they quickly associated the bell ringing with time to eat. Eventually, he would just ring the bell without the food there, and they would salivate because their body systems had become conditioned to be eating after they hear the bell ring. So, you want to do the same things. You're much more advanced than Pavlov's dogs. And you want to create an environment, a theme, a vibe, if you will, where you have certain maybe white noise music or like the ocean or something, maybe music without words. It could be a fragrance that you turn on at that time, something of incense or natural oils. It could be the setting, the light color, everything that creates a response for your body that this is business. We're going to be focused and engaged. All of those things play a role, and they play a role in your sleeping patterns, by the way, as well. So, again, you want to look at your lighting, your setting, your lack of clutter, efficiency. Everything you need is there. Your pencils are sharpened. You still use pencils. Everything's charged that you're going to use. Nothing that could take away from your intense, focused moments. It could be even an outfit that you put on or a sweater, something that just puts you into study mode, and it will have the desired effect. Let me ask you some questions so you guys can chew on this a little bit. First, Linda says it's hard to type. She says, I try to study in the library and leave my phone in my room because it makes me eager to check what is going on. And all this stuff, it is nothing but a distraction, right? If you have your phone nearby, it will make you eager to engage and find out what's going on. Absolutely, Linda. A great point. We're going to get into putting off digital stuff in a minute, but that's a great point. Find out what is your most common distraction and get rid of it, right? Get rid of it. Have a dedicated tablet that does not have the notifications turned on something. And I'll tell you guys what, I'm an old man. I'm in the youth of my old age, but nonetheless, and we survived without iPads and iPhones and even cellular phones and pagers. We survived. People survived not getting a hold of us. They just told us later what was going on. It's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. So here are your questions. Do you have a favorite place to study? And Linda has already mentioned that she prefers the library and it keeps her away from her tech at home. She uses the tech at the library that's not associated with her notifications. And it can even be an incentive that if you stay focused long enough, you'll be able to go check your notifications. It can be a reward system, right? So get rid of your stuff. We'll talk about tech in a second. Find a designated place. I'd like to know if you guys have a designated place, like Linda put in the chat that she goes to the library. So if you're watching the repeat of this, put it in the comments. I will check the comments and I will get back to you because we're looking for that engagement in our community, right? Um, what could make that place even better? So I challenge Linda, as I challenge you. Linda's a medical student, as I said. I challenge you guys to think about your place and your setting and what could make it better. Think about it. What could make the place you study better? Maybe you haven't implemented a fragrance yet. Maybe you haven't gone down that route. I don't know. But what could make it better? Give me yeah, it's one of those things. What could make it better? Tip one, creating a dedicated space. Tip two, here's something you may or may not use. Tip number two, you guys ready? You writing this down? They're like, no, because it's recorded. We can watch it again later. Well, write it down, engage right now. Tip number two, using a timer. Using a timer. I know some of you are like, dude, that's way old school. There's no way I'm using a timer. Well, you could use an egg timer if you want, but you're going to hear it. It could be a distraction. Use your digital timer. Tell your watch to create a timer. Seeing other people study makes me feel like I have to study more. Same. When I was going through my medical training, I went to a coffee shop. We all met there. We had our table, and that environment, that setting with everyone else there dedicated. Yeah, absolutely. It took me into another place, another realm. In fact, um, when we tried to create a study room at home and create it like a coffee shop, it didn't work for me. It wasn't the ambiance, it was the people, it was the engagement, it was the commitment that helped me to level up. Absolutely. So using a timer is called the Pomodoro technique. I'll type it here in the chat and have you guys look it up. Be right back. Let me put this on mute for a second. Live. That's the wonderful thing of going live. Anyway, it gives it a dynamic, right? So the Pomodoro technique, you guys look this up because I don't know if it's taught or not, but it might still be taught. The Pomodoro technique. What you're going to do is you're going to have 25 minutes of study, followed by 5 minutes of break. So 25 minutes of intense study, followed by 5 minutes of break. Look, it's proven. It's proven to work. If you haven't tried it, you can't knock it. So you must give it a try. The Pomodoro technique. What you do is you condition your brain to be intensely focused for 25 minutes and give yourself 5 minutes off. Go take a walk, look around the room, get up, do something different for 5 minutes, and then come back and engage again. You will find that your mind is refreshed, that you're more engaged, you're more likely to remember and apply the things that you're learning. So we're talking about conditioning your brain, having a dedicated place, having some ambiance. It could be some sounds, ocean waves, or something that gets you into that mode of study. It could be you can even, if you can't get to a library, you could even put on background sounds from a library on your technology and get that enhancement going. And by setting a timer, you are conditioning your brain for focused, followed by rest. It's called the Pomodoro technique, and it will help you stay motivated. So, have you ever used a timer when you're studying? Hey guys, welcome. Wow, it's good to see you. Practique, studying at the same time every day can be useful. Oh, good. Thank you for the endorsement. That's great. And Cartoon Fun says, I guess keeping short goals may help us. Yeah, well, short spurts of study. What we're trying to do is give you intensive focus. Intensive focus. We're trying to level you up because after college, or even during college, you can do this. But after college, you have maybe a family, a career going on, a relationship happening. You might have pets. There's a lot of things vying for your time, so we need your time to be more focused. And obviously, when you're done studying, you want to retain and apply the things you've studied, right? What is the point? So let me explain something. In high school and college, your burden was recognition. Most of your burden was recognition. So if you immersed yourself in the material, you could recognize true or false, you could recognize multiple choice, and you could do it, effectively on the test. But in life, when you're talking about learning another language, you need this to be digestible so that you can apply it the next time you use your English, right? Linda says this is a double-sided sword. It makes some people stressed out with the timer. She's talking about the Pomodoro technique about time and reduces their quality of study, but for others it can be useful because whether you had a productive day or not. Well, sure. All of this stuff is it could have an adverse effect, and obviously you want to cut it out if you've tried it a few times and it hasn't proven to be effective. You want to modify this. But here's the thing too, Linda. Some people have test taking anxiety, like the TOEFL or the IELTS exam, where they're testing you to see if you have fluency embedded, where you're able to think in that language, the target language. And so conditioning yourself for added pressure, the timer, if you can acclimatize or condition yourself for that atmosphere, perhaps you will rise up to a higher level of focus than you knew you could be aware of, right? So the fight or flight response, discovering which one you are by getting under duress is important. And then to a degree, you can condition yourself instead of using that fear to paralyze you. You can use that fear to gain focus. So think about it, guys. And thank you for the input. It's great to see the chat is alive. And so let's see, let's go into tip number 3. This is tip number 3. If you're just joining us, don't worry. We're going to put this on our channel unedited, and then I'll edit it later and give you other versions of it. Removing digital distractions. Removing digital distractions. Now, we touched on this briefly because it's an obvious distractor. As Linda said, she curtails it or she limits it by doing different things, changing her environment, using other tech and leaving her tech at home. These are strategies that can work. These are methods that can work. But you want to turn off your notifications. I know some of you are screaming right now. You're like, no, I can't. I have to know. Turn off your notifications, put yourself on airplane mode or something like that. Let your family know. We're going to talk about getting their buy-in, getting their support so that you can do this. Use focus apps. It mentions a couple of focus apps. I don't know them personally, so I can't endorse them, but you can use apps that help you to focus or put your phone in another room. I can almost hear the screams right now. Put your phone in another room. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Put your phone in another room. Look, if you're trying to level up with your English, you need the biggest advantage possible. Oh, you're okay, good. Your Our app. Thank you, Linda, for recommending something. We want you at the highest level of focus. You deserve it. There's so many things to do. And the truth is, you do not need 4 hours a day in English immersion to get the gains or get the results that you want. You just need these moments of intense focus consistently. A little digression here, an illustration. I worked out for many years in the military, trying to be this big guy. And of course, like young, overmotivated, over energetic superheroes that we are when we're in our 20s, I would exercise and brag about it. I'd be in the gym for hours and I'd tell people I'm in the gym for hours. Yeah. And then I found out later studies show that if you work out more than 45 minutes intensely without supplements, you start to digest and break down your own muscle for energy. It starts to work against you, right? And here I'm bragging about doing it, and after a while I'm going against my productivity. And then as I got even older, I found out that throwing the weights around so I can scream in the gym was not getting me any real gains. It's time under tension. It's time under tension. Oh, are you kidding me right now? This whole time, nobody told me, Linda, you couldn't tell me? Paper, I'll have to edit that out. Um, time under time under tension was what gave me the bigger gains. Oh, you're in trouble, Linda. You're in trouble. Hi, cherries. Welcome, welcome. I had a feeling that was going to happen. I blew my nose earlier. Uh, those who are going to watch the recorded version of this live are going to say, "Who's Linda?" Well, yeah, but they're gonna know you. Oh, you didn't see it. Good, good, good. I have to edit that. I had some paper on my nose. It's so funny. That just means it's real. So time under tension with exercise was what gave me the gains, which means contrary to your youth and wanting to show off for the ladies in the gym, if I went slower and kept it under tension longer, I would get better gains. I would tear my muscle more instead of "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa." So the same here with studying. If you guys are trying to get better results with your studying and you're after college, or even if you're in college, newsflash, it's not about how long you go with your studying. In fact, after a while, if you don't give your brain a break, your time under tension can cause your brain to be less focused, easily distracted, fatigued, less absorbing. So if you spend that Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes of intense study, 5 minutes of rest, you could find that your gains, your overall net gains of retaining information could be much better, right? So that's tip number three, removing digital distractions. What are your biggest digital distractions and how could you remove or reduce them? I might be asking Cherries if she's here. So glad nobody's coming in. What are your biggest digital distractions? Is it notifications? Is it notifications? Is it direct calls? Not too many people call anymore. They get notified or they get text alerts. And if you say that your biggest distraction is getting alerts that we have launched a new video, then leave that one on. Leave that one on. It's okay. Go watch our videos and then come back. Um, Receiving a lot of calls. Yeah, Linda gets actual calls. So sorry about that, guys. I'm recovering. Yeah, good thing I got some water. Look, no brand. Wow, receiving a lot of calls. Good, 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 good. Okay, tip number four. Tip number four. Tip number four is getting support. Getting support. Now, listen, listen, guys. You have to get the support of your family and friends. you have to get their support. So you talk with them and you say, "Hey, listen, mom," or "Listen, bestie," or whatever your thing is. Your maybe it could be your husband or your wife or even your kids. You say, "Look, I'm designating this time as my study time. And let me know what you need a half hour before, or even spend time with your kids a half hour before so that they feel fully satisfied. Say, now, mommy or daddy, daddy needs some more time. So daddy's going to go in his room and study. I need to be left alone." And you condition them to support you. So let your family or roommates know your study times. In fact, when you shut off your notifications and people try to get a hold of you, then they say, "Where were you? I was trying to get a hold of you." "Oh, that's my study time." You see, if they learn that that's your study time, then they will respect it. "No, this is my half hour that I study, and then I can get back to you." And remember, we mentioned your reward might be that you have 5 minutes break from studying to answer your notifications, to check in and find out what's going on with your friends. 5 minutes though, set a timer for 5 minutes so you get back to it. So this tip number four is getting support or the buy-in of other people, and use online resources, because if you have a study group, like Hello Talk is a great app for language learning, and we have 2 study groups in there. If you have a study group, they can encourage you. If you have a study buddy or partner, that can also help. But here's a news flash: just like with your wife or your husband, just like with friends, you don't find perfect friends, you don't find perfect study partners, you make them. You make them. You find people who have the same commitment level. You start with them once or twice a week for 10 or 15 minutes, and you engage and then develop that friendship, develop that relationship, and then they start to shape towards you. Another method of getting a good study buddy is to be the study partner you want to them, and that will get their response. Be the study partner you want to them. So if you meet somebody who has the same level of commitment, you can say, "Hey, if you want, I can help you to review before your tests. Or if you want, we can go over your material every day. I can test you on it. You can give me your study notes and I can quiz you on it." So be that person. And as they accept your help, they will automatically feel like, "Hey, wait a minute. I mean, you're always helping me. What are your goals? How can I help you to study too?" They will reciprocate. So you help them maybe once or twice, and then they'll say, "Hey, can I help you with something too? What do you need help with?" And then it starts to become that kind of a partnership. And then you can discuss goals and you can talk about doing it more often or for a longer length of times. But you got to develop a good study partner. And Linda says, let's see. Calls, no worries. They just don't understand. They're like, "Come on, you're gonna make it." Like, they don't understand it why you need that time alone or why you have to dedicate time. But I believe the traditional ways of studying are always better. Of course, Linda, and you've had a measure of success. So if what you're doing is working, listen, guys, if what you're doing is working, then no need to change it. If you want to implement or try these tips to level up, try them for at least 2 weeks. It takes at least 2 weeks for you to see if it's going to be effective or not. We went through several tips. The first tip was create a dedicated study space. The second tip was to use a timer, the Pomodoro technique. The third tip was to remove digital distractions. We just went over the fourth tip, getting support or the buy-in of your family and friends. And now we're going to go over to the fifth tip, setting clear goals. Setting clear goals. So don't be vague with goals. Be clear with your goals. We always talk about the SMART technique. I'll let you guys look it up. SMART. It's an acronym. It stands for what? Specific, measurable, achievable, relative or related, and time bound. So this is a way for you to determine if you're still on track. If you're still on track, if you were in an airplane or on a ship, you would constantly be checking to make sure you're still on the right path, just 1 degree off, and you could arrive at a different destination. So, with your study tips, you want to make sure that you are being specific about your goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relative, and time bound. The achievable is also another part of that. We have other videos on our channel about this, but SMART goals are very helpful in giving you a specific and realistic goal to accomplish and reward yourself when you accomplish that goal. And look, I don't mean go out to a $100 dinner whenever you study for 25 minutes straight with a 5-minute break. Make the rewards appropriate. It could be a special tea you like or a special treat or something. Make the reward practical. Examples would be to learn 10 new words and be able to write a paragraph with those 10 new words. An example would be a short, realistic goal would be to learn 10 new words and to be able to write a paragraph with those words. Now, when I'm instructing and helping people in fluency, I say learn 5 to 10 words a week. No, you're like, no way, that would take me 6.9 million years. I'm growing I'm growing through some allergies here. Yeah. So 10 new words a week, I say is realistic for your new beginning times. I know it makes me look very emotional right now, huh? So 10 new words a week, but 10 words of immersion, like completely understanding those words. Yes, of course you look them up. Of course you understand their definition. You look at their meanings, you write sentences. That's par for the course. But creating a story with AI to understand those words better, creating a dialogue with those words, help to bring meaning, like personal application meaning to those words. So at the end of that week, you will be so immersed and kind of sick of those 10 words that you will not forget them ever. You will have context through the stories you created on AI. You will have practical application by the dialogue you practiced, and you will have muscle memory of sense. Hi, Cindy. Welcome. Nice to see you. You will have muscle memory from doing dialogue. So there'll be triggers and a sense of familiarity with those words. So the next time you're speaking English with somebody, those words come up. You want to create those triggers. So setting clear goals can be very useful in guiding you into the realm of effective studying, and you'll be able to see if it's working. You know how many times I ask people, is their study method working? And I will get crickets, guys. I will get crickets because they have no way of measuring if what they're doing is working. They think they're putting in the time, so they should wake up one day with the results. But that's not how it works. If you had invested your money, you would have the money trends on your phone. You'd be watching it. If you had $10,000 and you invested in Doge coins, Doge Bitcoins, you'd be watching it to see if it was growing or not, right? 10 grand, it's a lot of money. Some people, that's their annual salary in some countries. So you would be watching it. Well, you're investing your time to grow your English, to achieve fluency, to affect change in your opportunities and your ability to earn. So watch what you're doing and see if it is growing. Study partners can also let you know if you're going anywhere, if you're growing somewhere, right? All right. Good job, guys. What is a small goal that you can set for your practice? What is a small goal that you can set for your practice right now? Think about it. Maybe you want to share it with us here. What is a small goal that you want to set for your English learning? And I know there's a delay in the chat, so I won't be waiting too long for you, but you can message me or you can comment here and let me know what your goal is. If you want, I'll follow up with you. I'll follow up with you and see if you're achieving that goal or not. I'll help you in accountability because that's what we do here. We're a community, come together and help each other. All right. Um, Here are some active learning strategies. Some active learning strategies I'm going to share with you guys. Ready? You guys ready? Who's ready? Active learning strategies. So speak out loud. Speak out loud. Yeah, speak out loud. This is a learning strategy. You want to engage everything that you're going to be using when you actually use your English. So simulate it. It's the reason I recommend dialogue. But speaking out loud can be very useful. If you are in a country where it's hard to immerse yourself in English, some countries I'm finding out that it is odd for them to speak English with each other, with another native person. Whereas here in the United States, it isn't. If I was learning French, if I were learning French, I would meet with other people who are learning French and we talk French in public. It wouldn't be a big deal. But in some of your countries, it's hard for you to speak English with another person in your country. So speak out loud. Speak about what you're doing. I'm going to the kitchen. I'm going to prepare my lunch. What should I eat for lunch? So speak what you're thinking, speak what you're doing, use your English out loud. This will help you. Taking notes. And look, some of you don't even know what a pencil is unless it's an Apple pencil. Using an actual pencil, something about the friction on the paper, the need to keep it sharp. It's just, I don't know if it's the ASMR of hearing it as you're writing. I don't know. Whatever it is that triggers you to be focused or enjoy the process, get it. If it's a favorite pen, I like the zero point 0.5 or 0.35 gel pens because they're a little scratchy, whereas the point 0.7 and the 1.0 are a little more smooth. But I like the scratchiness as it's kind of dragging across the paper that engages me a little bit more. Um, Teach the material to someone else. Some of you, we've talked about it, whether you've had people that, well, it's hard to find a study partner that's the same level as you. Well, in some ways, that's ideal if you found someone at the same level, but it's not very realistic, right? It's not very realistic. So you find somebody, and maybe parts of their English development is higher than yours. Maybe parts of their English development is higher than yours. And so in that case, they would be a leader for you. You would want to acquire that aspect of their English. And for them, parts of what you do are desirable. And so they would want that to be acquired from you. They would want to acquire that from you. Yeah, that's probably why we don't have any likes. People are popping in and popping out. So we'll get some likes here real quick. Yeah, welcome guys. Um, so teaching someone, like if you were to ask someone like Linda, I don't know if Cindy's still here, if you can teach, you definitely nailed what you learned. Perfect example, Linda. Perfect example. Hey, if you can teach it, then you really know it, right? When you guys ask me, how do I communicate the way I do? How do I build relationships the way I do, engaging with people? I have to stop and think about it because it's natural for me. So as I think about it and I break it down, I can share it with you and then help you to make sense of it. So if you teach what you're learning to someone else, like Linda said in the chat, then you've learned it. You've definitely nailed it. So teaching someone using flashcards. I know earlier today in the live stream, the other live stream on Hello Talk, someone held up flashcards. I think it wasn't Ava. Was it Fatima? It was another friend we had on stage held up flashcards. Ava couldn't see them. She wanted to see them, but she couldn't because she ran out of time. Um, and that was wonderful to see actual paper flashcards where they not only wrote their notes, but they had enhanced it with some bigger font for the word, as well as, highlights and stuff. Whatever it takes for you to engage in the material, you will absorb it better. And remember, this is different with fluency, with English learning. It's different that you want to use it. Now, when you make it out of college, you will find that much of what you learned, the physical content, is not useful all the time in your career path. In fact, many of the subjects just fall away. The goal for those subjects was supposed to be to teach you the process. In the learning process, you gained troubleshooting or problem solving, but it's different in our colleges now in this country. It's more of a business transaction. So I don't know if many of them. especially the way they act at graduation. It does not show that they've leveled up at all. Um, it's kind of embarrassing that they haven't acquired a higher level of functionality at the end of college, and yet they've accomplished their degree. There used to be courses in college that talked about how to behave and how to carry yourself. And now, somehow, in our country, if you behave properly, it makes you look less cool or overconformed. And so now people are acting like fools at their college graduation, or feeling like they have to counteract their intelligent sounding voice with a lot of ignorance and vulgarities so they can still seem relatable or connected. And it's a bad thing. It's a really bad thing. But for you guys, you level up with your learning, use your flashcards, teach the material to someone else, take notes, speak out loud. So, what is your favorite way to study English actively? I'll ask Linda because she's here consistently, or anyone else who's just joined us. What is your favorite way to study English actively? Do you have a favorite way? Is it flashcards? Is it with a study partner? Is it by speaking out loud? Do you have a favorite way? You can comment, or you can say something in the chat right now, or you can send me a comment for this question. And which strategy would you like to try more? Speaking out loud, taking notes, or teaching the material to someone else, or perhaps using flashcards? Which strategy would you like to try more? Now, those are active learning strategies. Here's the fun part. Now, those of you who just joined us, you're joining at the right time. Reward yourself. Reward yourself. Hey, welcome. Just you know how to say your name. Pa Parvarti. Parvarti. I think that's your name, Parvarti. Thank you for joining us. Listening to audiobooks. Cool. Listening to audiobooks is Parvarti's preferred method of learning English. When I read a book, I purchase the audiobook and the readable version, the digital version, so that as I'm watching it, I'm hearing it. And that helps me to engage better at my age, at my phase in life. Yes, and I'm also starting to crave Jello in senior citizen homes. I know. But that helps me a lot. So good, Parvarti. Thank you for sharing that. It's good to see you here. Listening to audiobooks. So that's a preferred method. Now, what kind of small reward would motivate you? What kind of small reward? You hate flashcards. Linda says, I think in English and try to do everything in English. Good, good application. Think about rewards, guys. Small rewards after focused study sessions, small things. Can you guys give me some examples of what would be a reward for you? This says a cup of tea, a walk, or a fun video. I think it was Ava who said part of her reward system was she could watch two reels, like YouTube short reels, to give herself a reward of watching 2 reels. If you're disciplined, I guess that will work. So what is a reward system for you guys? I'm curious. S Try not to have white paper on my lip like earlier. Thank you, Linda. Watch a movie? Dude, that's too long. Small rewards. Yeah, you study for 25 minutes and watch a 2 hour and 50-minute movie. Yeah, it could be. Maybe you do several cycles of the Pomodoro technique, 25 and 5, 25 and 5, and then you reward yourself with a movie. It could be, yeah, very much. Very good, guys. Here's the recap and to take action. Find your best focus strategy. Find your best focus strategy. Keep mindfulness and reset if distracted. Keep mindfulness. Be aware if things are taken away from your engagement. Become aware. Like Linda says, she keeps track of how many times she's distracted, and that motivates her to get re engaged a little bit more and keep going. You are improving. I used an example of one of the plants that's too far away to use as an example now. This plant is very unique. Many plants that have grown before, like the one up here, will extend the twig as it extends the leaves, right? The twig will grow further and then a leaf will come out. This one here will shoot leaves up, and then they'll slowly, through the life of the leaf, will slowly come down, and then I'll trim them before they're hanging too low. They'll turn brown. So that's the process of that one. And this other one sends a dedicated shoot up that has all the leaves it's ever going to have on it. So each shoot comes up fully. I got to show you, don't I? I have to show you. Let me get this. This is a visual, guys. I don't know what this plant is called. If you guys know what it's called, please tell me in the chat. But I've always wanted one of these. This is a foliage plant. And this plant surprised me because normally you have plants like the one above me that will extend the shoot and then the leaves will come out, extend the shoot and leaves will come out. This one's different. This one's different. It sends the entire shoot with all the leaves up like a giant rocket from the base, and it goes to a certain length, and then you can see now it's unfolding. All those leaves are going to come out now, and it's always going to be that height. That one particular shoot will not get any higher. It's going to open up and have all of its leaves already in the shoot. I've never seen that before. It's amazing. And so it will never, these will never grow any longer. They're already as long as they're going to be. And this one came out at a predicted height, and then it's going to unfold. It's gradually going to unfold and show all of its leaves. In fact, I should have been taking a picture of it every day for a time lapse thing. I'll do that next time. And so this is kind of like you're learning right now. You may be putting in all of the time. You may be putting in all of the time and you feel like you're not growing at all. Oh, hi, Parvati. Welcome back. Oh, good, 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 good. Good. I'm glad you're learning from it. So, just like with this plant, you could be putting in a lot of time. You're not seeing the constant growth of that style, of that style. You're not seeing the constant progress. But it could be that you're building up for a big breakthrough where all at once, everything you're studying and doing is going to unfold and reveal itself. That your work has not been in vain, that you're going to level up, you're going to grow. It's going to just come into being. And I guarantee you that if you are applying yourself in a focused way and you're doing it consistently, and you're thinking about what we talked about today, having an environment that's dedicated, having a time of day, getting people's buy-in so they support you, having a study buddy, teaching someone your material that you're learning, shutting off or limiting your digital interaction, rewarding yourself, having small goals that lead to your big goal. All of these things, whichever one you haven't implemented it yet, whichever one you haven't implemented yet, the chances are good that it's going to help you to gain more focus. The chances are very good that it will indeed help you to gain more focus. If you guys are just joining us, I'm going to leave this come up on our channel live so you can watch it all the way through. I'll edit it later. But know that if you're practicing and studying and putting these things into place, you are growing. You are going to accomplish it. It's going to happen. And stay on our channel to be encouraged. Of course, subscribe, like, share, all that stuff. We'll try to do more of these teaching live streams, and I'll try to schedule them and start them on time and give you something to be engaged in. And I appreciate your comments, not so much to trick the algorithm, but I like to connect with you guys. We believe in a community that comes together in unity and helps one another for free so that we can see you grow and achieve your goals. That's what we do here on Taliko Vima English. So I want to thank you guys for joining. If you have any questions, you can pop them up in the chat right now. I'm still battling my congestion, but I will allow YouTube to put this out publicly so you can watch it in its raw, unedited form. Even look for the paper on my lip in the beginning, and then I will download it and take it to the next level by putting the slides up so that you guys can see them, and also probably make some shorts out of this one. So, well, Parvarthi, it was nice to meet you. I'm so glad you're here. Linda, as always, thank you for your support. Moneta, I know you're still here. You're such a trooper when it comes to all of our events. And thank you guys very much for being here. My name is Jonathan, your host and your servant. I'm here to serve you guys in your pursuit of English. And so let me know how I can help you. And if there's any videos or anything you need made, just let me know. So Thank you guys very much. We're going to close this for now. Thank you, Linda. Thank you for the hearts, guys. And we'll see you next time, right? Next time. All right. Take care of each other. Bye for now.